into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, there it is, Phil. The theme, the good theme.
The only
it back.
theme.
The only one there is. Hey, AfterBuzzers, you are watching episode 14 and 15 of season 6, Shark Tank on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Cameron Lewis. Steph Z is off tonight, but joining me per usual in the booth tonight, Phil Svitek. Phil,
Welcome,
what's
ladies
going
and
on?
gentlemen. This was we got a little special thing. We got a Tuesday episode. We got a Friday episode. We got a lot of episode to go through.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to get to a point with Shark Tank where they're just doing it for 3 hours a night, every night of the week. That's what ABC is going to do to this thing.
We just need a lot of product for that.
I think it's there. I think we can do it. We bring on some other sharks on the panel. We can make this a regular thing.
That's I feel like we definitely need other sharks. I think it definitely helps because eventually it's gonna. Yeah, I just want to see some other people.
Really? Who
I think so.
Who would be the first to go for you, Phil?
It's not about replacing people. It's about adding people. So maybe we have a Monday crew, a Tuesday crew,
okay,
and then like those guys. There's always someone from the main show, right? There's 5 sharks typically. I know we have 6 that we rotate because we rotate Damon and Barbara. So maybe we just kind of do one on the panel each day. You know, through like Monday through Thursday, and Friday we get the originals.
Risky. You get YouTubers and stuff in there. You know, like Friday night's going to be like the YouTuber night. It's going to be a weird show.
That would be fun though.
It would be kind of fun. I would do a night. What you would do a night? I know you would.
I want to do. This is totally off subject and whatever else. But I hope you guys can appreciate this. I want to do a version where it's like Deal or No Deal. Where you have me, you, Steph, and everybody else kind of doing Shark Tank on behalf of Mark Cuban and whoever else, and just making outrageous. I'll give you $5 million for 5%, and then you have Kevin O'Leary in the background calling you like,
He's the banker.
do not do that, do not do that. I kind of did.
Yeah. All right.
So,
I dig it.
I don't know.
dig it.
Just an experimentation.
Well, shall we hop in? We have 8 pitches to cover tonight.
Absolutely.
Total of 8. So we'll start with episode 14. The first pitch, Scratch and Grain Baking. Coming into the tank, seeking $150,000 for 20%. Phil, what'd you think of this one?
I agree with those guys. The name was terrible. Scratch.
Horrible name.
It sounds like a scratch off.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with what they're actually doing.
But the concept, right? It's original cookie. I do love that. I thought that was brilliant. You know, I don't make cookies myself too much, but this is something I would buy a girl.
Well, what is the difference? And let me ask you this, because this is what I was thinking the whole time. What's the difference between doing this, Scratch and Grain Baking, versus doing something like the Pillsbury cutout cookies that you can buy in a freezer?
The health factor.
But you're eating a cookie.
But the point is, right? It's yes, you are, but it's also the what you're talking about. It's not an activity. You just make them because you want them. Whereas this, they talked about the mother-daughter relationship, and spending time and making cookies. So that's, you know, we're trying to nurture family time here.
They're going for the emotional aspect of cookie making.
Yeah.
The mother-daughter. I can respect that. $150,000 for 20%.
Yep.
Too high? Too low?
A little high.
A little high. A little high for the cookie making business. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I couldn't see this one myself. Because in terms of cookies, it's a cookie to me. It's like ice cream versus frozen yogurt. It's all the same to me. You know what I mean?
I guess so. I get what you're saying. But at the
I
same
don't know.
But I mean, in terms of I know a lot of, this sounds so sexist, I understand it, but so many girls love to bake, and I love the little AfterBuzz cuties. So sexist again. That bring in cookies for all of us.
Okay.
So you know what? I'd have no problem giving him a little.
So
kit.
Anything that helps that cause is what you're saying.
Why not? They love it. So why not cater to it?
Yeah, that's true. Do the best that you can to stack the cards in your favor, I guess. They struck a chord with Barbara specifically. $150,000 for 20% is who they ended up going with. Mark also offered them, or was it Mark or Rob? It was Rob.
Rob.
I always do that when I write down notes about these two. Why is that?
Why?
They're completely
first off,
different people.
They were trying to they were trying to go in together, and Barbara's like, "I'm gonna cut him out."
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I didn't see Rob in this one, anyways.
Okay, who do you think's actually bad at communication? Just as a fun thing, because Robert had that. Barbara writes on a stone tablet. So who's more accessible? Robert or Barbara?
Barbara.
Okay.
I think, and especially when it comes to like the food stuff, she's had the success with this in the past, which I think that's a good reason to go with her, and it's who they ended up going with in the end. But I don't know. She just kind of seems like she does a little bit more hand holding to me. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do feel that. Whereas what I can respect about Robert, I feel like he's one of those like teach a man to fish, so he teaches fishing.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Anyways, they ended up going with Barbara. 150, 20%. Congrats to them. Congrats to them. I don't know if this is gonna be a big business. I think this might be a one-off, but we'll see. We'll see. We could see an update from this week from now. Next up, Bottle Bright. Justin and Seth. Phil, what are your thoughts?
Bottle
you
Bright.
sound like you have some thoughts.
Here's the official description. Bottle Bright, an effervescent tablet that cleans bottles and similar hard-to-clean containers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't. Because I have Tupperware, I have water bottles, and I have all these things, and you know what? I found a way to clean them.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's a market for something like this, if it can be as easily combated as just getting a baby bottle brush from the 99-cent store or something. You know what I mean? I didn't really see, like, is this actually a problem that needs to be solved?
Well, here's the thing. You have to, like, spark the fear of death into people, saying, like, the things you're doing to your water bottles are so bad for it. Whereas, because for me right now, I'm sure it is, but I don't care.
But, like, how long, like, do you go personally without cleaning your bottle?
1 or 2 days.
Probably. See, then you don't need, like, why do you even need this thing?
Is that the thing? I don't know. I clean my bottle pretty regularly.
You just clean it. Like, just clean the bottle. I don't know why you need an Alka-Seltzer tab.
Is this like an REI product? Recreation Equipment Incorporated? Or, you know what I mean? Like for mountain people? Because if you're on the mountain and you need to clean your water bottle, but there you might have a bigger problem of where the hell you find your water.
Yeah, and I also have a hard time because they were saying essentially what you do with this product. You take the tab, you fill your bottle with water, you drop the tab in, you let it do its magic. I don't know that I believe that it actually cleans the bottle. How do you knock off stuff without doing a little scrubbing? I don't know. I don't buy it.
So in the words of Lindsay Lohan from the Harry Potter SNL skit, the magic isn't happening?
The magic isn't happening. Good reference. Wow. You just got deep.
Look it up, people. Look it up.
But again, I don't. First of all, I don't see this as a big problem. Second of all, I don't buy that this actually cleans the product. I buy that it might purify the water that's in the product when you're trying to clean it, which is not really the point. But I don't see it essentially being like scrubbing bubbles or anything, and also it being safe for you to put your mouth on.
When it comes to these types of products, I never know what's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know the market of this. I mean, yes, people could just all of a sudden just be insane and buy all this stuff. But I'm more interested in, hold your haunches, perhaps.
Okay.
Like that could be a good product. It is a good product. Spy, escape, and evasion. That's a good product.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I'm not so. Doorman, great product.
Doorman.
The rest of them, this one, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what I know.
You know one that I really knew. It was a screen mesh.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Oh, there you go.
I need to get me some of that. Anyway, so they ended up going with Lori, who offered them $75,000 for 35%, and that's the deal they got. I was surprised that anybody went in on this, but it made sense that Lori did.
Yeah, it's one of those things when it's a tough product. It's either going to be one of those sharks or none.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of times if it's clothing, it's coming down like, Damon, you going to go in for this or not?
Yeah.
But Lori, you going to go in for this or not?
Right.
So it's just, and she did. So there you go.
So congrats. Congrats to Justin and Seth. Up next, Vest Packs. The Vest Backpack solution. Oy.
There's so many Here's the thing. I am a man who appreciates a good backpack because I'm always buying backpacks. And
yeah.
I like a good backpack. And it's not a bad idea, but the market is so saturated. So license it. License it if you have to.
License it would be the only way I see this thing taking off. Like you said, the market is so saturated. I just don't even... The thing is... This isn't something like a backpack isn't something you wear all day, is it? I mean, it's
kids,
something
pretty
that,
much.
Do they? Because I feel like you go to school with the backpack, you take your books to and from school, you take your homework to and from school to home, and then you kind of ditch it for the day in your locker,
it's also,
right?
Is it also like a? It's also like a cold thing. So in the morning, it might be cold, so you put on this vest.
So you put on a sleeveless vest.
I mean, yes, but the problem is then. How hot is it? How much, you know what I mean? So if it's the summertime or you're coming back from school, I don't know.
The best part of this pitch was the guy pitching saying his daughter invented the product when she was in 6th grade. And I know that the girl who was there presenting it, who was wearing it, was not in 6th grade, but for some reason I associated that girl to be the daughter. And so I thought, oh, how cute. She invented it. She invented this backpack vest, and that's awesome. Turns out the daughter is 24 now.
She should be running this business if nothing else.
She should be the one. Clearly, she had the foresight to say, Dad, you take this because I don't really believe in it anymore.
Yeah, it was just, again, for a 6th grader to come up with that and make it, that's all well and dandy. That's fine. But then you got to do, if she is 24, she should be running this company, not... This is my CFO.
Right.
I sold my, the percentage to him, and now he makes it because I don't care.
Right. See, now we talked about the kids wear the backpack all day. Okay, maybe they do. I just don't understand how this is better than a regular backpack. That's the other problem I have with it. I feel like backpacks are okay.
It distributes weight easier. I get that. One of the things, how many times... People don't always know how to do the straps correctly. They do it too low, too high, and it messes with your back. Some kids go, one strap. So it's one of those things that it forces you to wear a backpack correctly.
Yeah.
So I see the benefits. Who knows?
Yeah.
They've sold for 2 months and did terribly. So
yeah. Sorry, Vest Packs. Everybody was out. That's it. Nobody wanted it. I don't really want one either.
I'll get you one.
Were you really?
How cool would it be?
Are you going to get one?
AFTERBUZZ Vest Packs?
That might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
The only thing with it, the whole redistribution of weight, it's not like you're putting the books in the front. If there was a way to put the books in the front, then I would believe it.
I have a bigger issue with, nowadays, first off, I think it's a smart idea. The only, it didn't seem that big. And kids today... And by the way, I know this was kind of more for younger kids, but
yeah.
So can there be a college line for this? Because I know my friends that went to college, especially in Boston and whatever, they have to have a lot of stuff on them, right? It could rain, It could snow, so you got to have some clothes. Your books are going to be heavy. Now you got your computer and things like that. You got a lot of stuff to carry.
Yeah.
You got 40 to 50 pounds to carry, no offense.
Yeah, no, that's true. How about we were talking about licensing before. license this to like sporting teams, I can see people taking this to the game. Because you can fit the snacks in the back. You can fit, but then it becomes like cooler vest. That
would be good. See, we're making things happen.
I'm gonna write that down. Cooler vest comes with the attachable hose to drink your beer. I like that one.
Yeah.
Phil, tell us about Everywhere's sticky ties.
They're so much fun. You get to reuse them. It makes sense that they're selling them in party city and things like that. It's the whole point of fun stuff is that it's supposed to be disposable.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm doing a crazy night and, people are going to, let's take it to extreme. Like you and I just crazy night, especially when we're hanging out with Steph C. We just
off the wall.
Wild.
Off the wall.
So people's faces get written on, things like that, But the point is, it was fun and we can talk about it, but I don't want the evidence of remembering it.
Yeah.
So anything that I could, again, wash my face, any of the weird clothes, it's got to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, when it comes to like party stuff, it's just I don't know this market, so I don't care.
I find myself doing that so much when I watch a show. It's either like you said, I love the product, or it's like I don't see a need for it myself, so I'm just gonna kind of ditch the idea. This is one of them. Like you said, you don't see anybody reusing the party hats, like kids' parties and stuff like that. You don't reuse the happy birthday banner. You don't reuse any of that stuff. Sticky ties, to begin with, I don't even understand it, really.
And it's one of those things like, and I think the Sharks feel the same way. It's like, if it's going to make me money, okay, maybe I'll go into it. But
right.
I got to have some passion for this.
That must be one of the hardest things to determine is, like these kind of one-off products that people use and throw away that are just kind of random. Like whoever first pitched and got investment for the party hat. That must have been a difficult thing, because how do you know if that is actually a trend that's going to take off? Speaking of trend,
here's a trend, right? Here's a trend that we're seeing just in this season alone. Kickstarter.
Oh,
how
all
many
the time.
people, they start on Kickstarter and they're fulfilling orders that way, and it's like, okay, what was your goal? And I forget one of the products, again, and we've seen this multiple times, but I remember one specifically, it was like $65,000, and they got out of it $500,000.
Yeah.
So, okay, the market is speaking. Now, can it go beyond that? Maybe. But, that campaign in itself is just so brilliant. And so that tests it without really running the risk of doing this.
Yeah.
So I like the tools available for entrepreneurs who are smart.
Yeah.
And they just got to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. They came into the tank seeking $100,000 for 30%. And how did they come out of that, Phil?
They came out good. They got a deal.
They got a deal.
But
it was an interesting deal. They got bought out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it.
Me neither.
And first off, I didn't expect that they would take it. I didn't expect that Mark would ever make that offer. Maybe he was testing them.
Yeah.
Remember, because I believe on last episode he did that where he was like, "I'll buy your company for $2 million."
Just throwing it out there.
Then they were like, "No."
Yeah.
But I think he literally saved their lives because they were in over the head. And as he said, listen, if I just get this for the Mavericks, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So, so again, it's a gamble on his part, but he'll at least make his money back.
He'll definitely make the money back. And
he honestly, it's one of the greatest things that he could have done for these women, because it's just, unlike Kevin, who does it in such a weird way and people don't really listen to him, he took them out of their misery and finally gave them peace and joy, and they can do what they do want to do, and he gave them stability, for their kids.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for him, because it has to come to a certain point. You've invested so much money, you've invested so much time, to where even if you really are kind of over it, you have no other option but just to keep going until there's some sort of end, whether you get bought out or whether you find that crazy amount of success. So I think they made a good decision.
Absolutely.
It's probably the decision I would have made, honestly, in terms of reusable sticky ties.
I liked it when they were out in the hallway and they're like, "Wait, what did we decide? We don't even know where we're going back in with."
Right. Those hallway conversations, that should be a show in and of itself. That should be another Shark Tank spinoff. Conversations in the hallway of the tank. Anything else from episode 14? Any other thoughts?
You know what? I enjoyed seeing multiple episodes in 1 week. You know, it kind of made the week go a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I got 2 in 1. That was
Shark Tank on a Tuesday, I kind of dug.
Shark Tank on a Tuesday night.
Let's move on to episode 15. And the first product is probably my favorite product of the season so far.
This is the best light I've ever seen.
Amazing. Lumio is the name of the product. We have Max coming into the tank pitching. $200,000 for 8% is what he seeks. And it's essentially what could be described as a library book that opens up into a magical, soft, bright light.
And you can stick it anywhere. It's, well, magnet, but yes.
Here's my thought process reaction to watching this guy pitch. He opens it up. I go, wow, that's a pretty light. And then I go, I can see me like setting that out, using it for reading. And then he said you could do it 180, you can do it 360, and I thought that's impressive. He said you can open it a little bit for bedside reading. I went, okay, yeah, I see that. And then he started sticking it on walls like Spider-Man. And I was like, this guy actually thought of everything. Like, I can see my dad using this in his garage. I can see somebody using this out back in their house, getting ready for the bonfire, setting it up on the deck. I mean, it's endless applications.
This is amazing. And the mobile version. And when he said
recharging the cell phone.
Oh yeah. And when he said, "I went to China to live in the warehouse so I could figure this out," that was just, everyone was just like, oh,
that's where he really got them.
Oh, this is a guy. Please. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the guy.
That's where they really got him.
Absolutely. And what I was surprised, I wasn't surprised that so many people went in on this. The amount of deals people made or were offering were the most interesting. And the fact that he went with Robert was most of all interesting.
I completely agree with you. Not only was it interesting that there were 5 offers, but I thought it was interesting that the 5 offers were really kind of different from one another too. Absolutely. Sometimes you see him go, okay, 100,000 for 10%. I'll also do 100,000 for 10%, but I think I'm better suited for it. I will also do $100,000 for 10%. That kind of gets a little.
Or I'll do 100,000 for 9%.
With a 4% royalty on everything. It's like, that's more or less the same. But we had 5 different offers. First one was Robert, $250,000 for 10%. That's only 2% more than what they were initially asking. Kevin, $250. He had to complicate the crap out of everything. $250,000 for 4% with the royalty of $7 until he recoups $500,000, and then he sticks with that 4%.
But here's the thing. He doubled the valuation.
And he doubled the valuation. He made a very big point about that.
Credit.
A line of credit.
Like there was a lot in that. It was actually, in the words of Damon, it was actually a sweet deal that could have given someone a cavity.
Yeah, that is true.
Especially for him, and even the announcer, when we come back from commercial break, I cracked up. Surprisingly, Kevin O'Leary has doubled the valuation.
Oh, man. I love that announcer guy. People on Twitter hate on him a lot, actually.
Why?
I don't know.
He's just the announcer.
It's so unnecessary for Shark Tank to have an announcer. Shut up.
Why?
We love him.
Who cares?
We love him. Mark offered $500,000 for 16%. Essentially, same valuation, double the investment. He made an emphasis on e-commerce. Lori, $250,000 for 12%, plus a $250,000 line of credit. And she wanted to see it in colors. What do you think about the colors?
Love that idea. Loved it.
Pretty good idea, because then you bring the kids into it, really.
Yeah.
Damon, $750,000 for 20% with a $10 million line of credit.
What?
Now, right there, that is the offer I would have taken.
Absolutely.
That is the offer I would have taken.
That just sounds so good. $10 million line of credit.
Because not only is that $10 million line of credit awesome, but Damon also seems to me to be the person who understands the product and really, I don't know.
Well, it's one of the
relates to it.
Here's the thing: it's one of those things like Damon knows warehouse, he knows manufacturing, and all that.
Yeah.
But I give Lori so much credit for the color thing. Of course, he's gonna steal that. Thank
sure,
you.
she shouldn't have said that out loud.
Lori should have gotten like a 2%. Just on that alone.
Yeah.
But Robert, if you're looking at this as a tech product, Mark or Robert were the best choices.
Yeah, to me,
it depends how you view the product.
Yeah, it depends on how you view the product. I guess it is a tech product. I guess, but
I mean, it fits multiple categories.
Yeah. I don't know. Who would you have gone with in this situation?
I would have maybe gone with Mark. I mean, because he's a tech guy, but he's also able to put around staff force. But at the same time, Mark's not like a full IT guy, whereas Robert, I feel like, is more down and dirty.
Yeah.
And so if you're him, you're looking at this and saying, you know what? I know how to cut the costs. I know the manufacturing side of it. I need some help with tech and the vision.
Yeah.
So Robert strategically, I guess, made the most sense. And I mean, he certainly had a clear direction. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he was going for.
He definitely loved it.
So
he definitely loved it. He was so happy every time he opened it. How did you think? How did you feel about the design of the product?
There is nothing about this product that I can knock.
Okay.
Just really, honestly.
Because I figured for some reason that, not you specifically, but some people would have the problem with the way it was designed because it's like a book and not like, but I actually loved it for that reason. And because
it's like a better version of a China ball.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's still soft light, so it's not like an LED flashlight that it has an annoyingly bright light, and I don't know. I loved it. Congratulations, Max. Deal, Robert. And Damon looked really pissed whenever he did not get it. Man, they all jumped on this thing.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get one. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to get one. And I'm sure the website's broken already, though. Up next, actually, let me remind you guys, subscribe to the podcast, iTunes. Rate
How
us
are you
on
listening
there.
if you're not
stars.
subscribed? That's stupid.
I know. See, when you just let me just break it down. When you subscribe to the podcast, we pop up on your phone. Phil's Vitek's voice will just start playing.
Or Steph Z. Or you'll
Steph
hit
Z. YouTube also. You can go to AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. Oh,
that'll just always pop up.
That'll just every time, all over the place. We love your comments. We love when you listen and watch the show. Thanks so much. Next, on episode 15, the Napwell. Neil and Justin coming to the tank, seeking $100,000 for 10%. Phil, are you napping well?
I am an amazing napper.
Yeah?
I don't need this product. I really don't.
I don't think anybody needs this product.
And that's I mean, here's the thing. There's like the sleep apps. By the way, like, if you're looking for a product like this to wake you up gently, honestly, just download a sleep app. It's good, and it'll cost you $2 at most.
Yeah.
$5 if you really want all the bells and whistles, which, why? But yeah, I feel like it's a greater epidemic. People need more time to sleep, and people need to get to sleep faster.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and so it's a waste of these guys' efforts.
I legitimately thought, because when they started saying it was a nap product mostly, and they said, yeah, you could use it for going to sleep at night, but I thought that it was going to be some kind of mask that you warm up somehow, place on your face, and it soothes your eyes, or some mumbo jumbo like that would help you fall asleep. Because my big beef with napping is I can't get to fall asleep with it. And that seemed to be a large contest among the sharks. Was this isn't really an issue for a lot of people. The issue is falling asleep, whether it's napping or whether it's going to sleep for the evening.
I'll tell you the real issue.
What's the real issue?
You're trying to take a nap and people be blowing. It's like the number one thing. People just start blowing up your phone.
Yeah.
Emails, texts, calls, and it's always the dire situation. So you know what? Just answer all that stuff. Figure out a way to be like, Cam sends me an email. Hey, can you send me that photo real fast? And then like just auto response with that photo. No, not napping.
Just
sends the photo.
Okay, wow.
That's
You're talking about automating everything.
Talking about artificial intelligence.
I'm not okay with it. Yeah, Napwell, I don't know. I also have a hard time being convinced, without putting this thing on my face, that lights flashing would simulate a sunrise.
I don't mind. I think that's totally true and things like that, but that's the problem, that our light intake is so messed up, right?
Yeah.
It used to be like, you know, the human body, it's supposed to see sunlight come through, so it wakes up, you go the day, your body, by taking all that sunlight, gets tired, and at night when there's no light, the body tells you, oh, time for sleep.
Yeah.
But now we wake up earlier than the sun sometimes, and most of us go hours after the sun has set to sleep. So
we cheat biology on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing it right now, Phil.
What
are we doing awake right now?
I know. It's the sun's set like 4 hours ago.
Oh my God. Depending on when you're listening to this. So everybody went out. Surprise, not really. I loved the guys. I love the guys pitching this product.
I give them credit. They find something better to do with your life.
Exactly. I was about to say that. This seemed more like an experiment than an actual business.
I mean, I give them credit because they went about it scientifically. They're like, well,
sure,
we have a hypothesis. We need to test it, and we need to test whether the market needs it. And so they had the right ideas of how to the right strategy, just not the right product.
Sure.
So.
Anyways, everybody out on the Napwell. I'm napping well without it.
I mean, here's the good news out of this. If they really believed in this product, I'm sure it's selling right now because of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
But the better news is too, if for some reason, they didn't really care about this product and they just went on Shark Tank to go on Shark Tank, they did a good job of selling themselves.
They did.
And if they don't want to do this, they certainly are now getting job offers.
Absolutely. The one guy, I mean, holy crap, he's like double medical schooling at Harvard and some other place. Like, what the hell? That guy's going to make something of himself. Good on you, kid. Turbo Pup is up next. The food replacement bar for dogs. Christina's coming in, seeking $100,000 for 20%. Phil, are you feeding this thing to your dogs?
I would. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's... You always carry snacks and things like that, but I get it's not as, especially if you're long excursions and things like that. This is the way to go. Why not?
I think it's a good idea. And I think Christina talked about how she specifically targeted outdoor stores and instead of pet stores, which I think was super smart because the people in outdoor stores are the ones who are going to be buying the product. Not your everyday at-home pet owner who's just going in for some treats and some food, maybe a toy or two. And I'm digging the product. I can see the application because I've gone out with a dog before, and you have to pack the food and sometimes a bowl and stuff like that. And so this is smart. I like this.
Yeah. And
the fact that she made this in her kitchen for so long, I don't know. I dig it. I also dig Christina. She's great.
Yeah, and Dallas Damon's number one argument was, hey, this is a person she's done 3 tours. Yeah. She's gonna do it, So sometimes you just invest in the person and you find a way.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing that I thought was great, because this is, I mean, I don't know if people think about this that much, but I certainly do. The fact that the dog in the tank that Christina brought was excited whenever she opened it, whenever it was ready to eat it. That's definitely a good sign. Because I feel like there have been a couple times where they bring in dog whatever treats, and the dogs are kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll eat it because it's there. This dog wanted it, so that's a good sign. The dog has to like it. So everybody went out but Damon. Everybody's, let's see, Mark, Rob, Lori, Kevin, pretty much all said the same thing. It's so new. Don't know if there's a market for it. It's such a big market to get into. But Damon believed. So he went in $100,000 for 35%. Would you have taken that deal, Phil?
Yeah, it's for this product and to work with Damon on it. I think that's a good deal. And it's one of those things like, why be greedy? You know what? Let's just go into business. Why be greedy?
Yeah.
And just do it.
I agree. This is one of those, it's worth the risk. I believe in her. Let's do it. Decent product. All right. Verde. Verde. Joe?
I was so confused. But I mean, I get the product, but the two brands and the thing. Why wouldn't you just keep the name of the brand? And if it really was that bad, or like, then why associate yourself with that brand?
Right. Why? See, that's okay. First of all,
why was
Superman
Faber
there?
Yeah, Dean Cain. What the?
Why was Superman there? Why was what's his name? Uriah Faber, UFC?
Yep.
Why were they both there? I understand, but they really didn't I don't know, legitimize it for me.
They didn't, but I think you know what's funny? I think for Dean Cain's benefit, I feel like he just this is a product that he uses. I don't think it's bad of him to use. It doesn't discredit him in any sort of way. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things. He was like, it's nice to get the PR hit, fine, whatever. But I think more importantly, it's like, I want to get in a room with these sharks, but I don't want to go through the hassle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why don't I, this guy asked me to be part of this. Why don't I just go in? It's his thing. I'm not the one who's like going to get beat up over it.
Yeah.
And let me learn from the sharks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that. My big initial red flag on this one was the fact that Joe, the guy pitching, doesn't really look good in what he's wearing.
Huh.
Like, that was my first... And that's no slight. I mean, the guy's fine, but like...
No, it's just like, because here's the thing. He's supposed, right? They said he's supposed to be able to be a stylist for people who don't have or know a style.
And he doesn't seem to really have a style. So that made me feel uncomfortable. I would feel uncomfortable asking this person, if he specifically was involved, to do a suit for me. And then there was, oh my gosh, there was the back and forth and the back and the forth, and he kept talking about, was it Aster and Black was the name of the old company? He kept talking about Aster and Black over and over and over again, and it was like, what is this Bello Verde then? What the hell are you talking about, Joe?
Well, I like the fact that he's like, it's all relevant, I promise you.
Like, get to it then, for the love of God. And like you were saying, so Aster and Black was this company he was involved in before. It went out of business. He bought a failing company, and he's still really wanting to kind of push that on people. And the two names, not a good idea. I don't know. I was really not a big fan of him. And Mark said he was a good salesman at the end, and I found that surprising. I don't know.
He could be. I mean,
he could be. I don't know.
But whatever. Custom suits. It's a great market. Trust me. But
yeah, there's a lot of people in it, though. There's a lot of people in it. So
and that was Robert's point. So.
Yeah. Everybody went out but Damon in the end. Damon offered $360 for 33%. Again, Joe coming in asking for 6% for that money. And he countered at $360,000 for 7%. What? And he was offended by the 33% offer.
I mean, here's the at that point, if you're honestly trying to have a negotiation where you're actually trying to get a deal out of it, no, just say, hey, listen, there's not, my honest offer is this, and Damon, I respect you. It's just, I don't think,
we have a business
deal that we can do.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go higher than what I'm willing to give. If you're willing to take 8%, then we have a deal, but otherwise, unfortunately, no.
And that's not what he did. That's not.
He just became
rude. If you went in there, Phil, and pitched this Bello Verde, maybe they would have gotten a deal, because he didn't seem very tactful with that. You're right.
It was absolutely you spat in their face.
Oh, yeah, and he did it repeatedly. Damon came down to 25% for his counter, which I thought he was going to go out with the 33%.
If nothing else, I mean, Damon's certainly looking for a higher percentage. So it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not willing to really budge on the valuation, but why don't we go higher money for higher equity?
Right. Yeah.
You know, let's go there. Are you really not willing to give up equity?
Sure.
If the valuation stays sort of similar?
But instead, he said my bottom line, and I would be insulted to even do this, 8%.
Well, you got insulted the F out!
I actually wrote on the bottom of my notes, I hate Joe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Joe. I don't know you, but you're probably my least favorite pitcher in recent history.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Pretty bad.
Oh, Phil Svitek. Any other thoughts on Verde? Custom suits.
Bello Vici, what? However you say it in Italian, get out.
Get out. Get out of here, Bello Verde / Astra Black / probably Men's Warehouse. I don't know who else is involved with it. Any other thoughts on any of the pitches from episode 14 or 15?
Like I said, it was nice to see, because somebody didn't, when you only get 4 and you have to wait a week for another one, like I said, as we've been discussing, you don't always care about them. But when you get 8, I cared about at least half of them. Yeah. And so, but the numbers increased, so I was like, oh, this is good. Mm-hmm. So I definitely enjoyed it, and it's one of those things like from the Tuesday tease to the Friday tease, I was like, oh, I get to see another one, And so the window of my memory was, it just kind of grouped things together better. Sure. Because it's like next time on Shark Tank, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
In like 3 days.
Yeah, because the teaser, I never remember the teaser after the episode because I'm like, well, I know that stuff that was in the teaser was in the episode. Yeah. But I don't remember it. Yeah. This I remembered.
Yeah, I dig it. I really dig it. So. Lumio. That's all I have to say. Over and over again. I love that thing. I love that thing. Why don't we get into our updates from this week?
Let's do it. We got... let's start with the fun one. Hold your haunches. All the guys were wrong. Hold your haunches. Big item. 1.5 million. 6 months and going strong.
Lori and Barbara's first deal together. Hold your haunches. Is this something you would buy, Phil?
For my lady, if I had a lady.
How about those numbers, though? In 6 months, $1.5 million.
Of course.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they've done really well. Congrats to them.
It's awesome. Good product, good people. Couldn't be happier. Lori and Barb, power couple right there. Power couple. The other one we had, probably something I would buy more into than Hold Your Haunches personally. Spy, Escape, and Evasion.
This is speaking of stuff I get for the girl. This is like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like half brain dead, but like, if you're planning to do something for Valentine's Day, why not go different? Why not do this?
That's a great idea.
As a couple, like how cool would that be?
That is the world's best Valentine's Day right there.
Like I'm tired of the dinners. And apparently I just got told the other day that a long romantic walk on the beach is not a date. And I'm like, are you insane? So I'm thinking of all new ways that constitute as a date.
This is perfect. This is perfect. Go out to the Spy Ranch in Utah, 320 acres of love, really.
And it's one of those things like you enjoy it, you enjoy each other's company, but you also get something out of it.
Yeah, and you're doing something. It's not watching a movie. It's not eating a dinner somebody else made. You're actually active. You're spinning a car. I really wanted to do the car in reverse drive. I always wanted to do that. I think I might pay this thing a visit next time I'm in Utah, which will be sometime.
I think we need to review it. Spy, Escape, and Evasion. We're going to be giving you a call. We need to test out the product.
Yeah, we'll do a special episode. Review. Yeah, straight from Utah. In 8 months, almost $2 million. Crazy. But not surprising.
Not at all.
Not surprising at all. So I'm really happy for them. Congrats. Damon, good investment. And he's really reaping the benefits at 45%. So So that's that. Spy, escape, and evasion for your Valentine's Day plans in 2015. Phil's Svitek.
You heard it here first.
Any other thoughts? Got any news? Got anything for me?
Nah. We can wrap it up. We'll end with a different theme song.
Oh, there it is. Phil, tell them where they can find you.
You can follow us here at AfterBuzz TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheOnlyCamShaft. I'm Cameron Lewis. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.